And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Wednesday, September 8th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. It is a Wednesday morning, and we're glad to have you here for Coleman and Company. We're here, and you're there. We're glad to have you there, and we welcome you, of course. And this is the day that we talk about Cedar Stone Bank of Lebanon. Mount Juliet Donaldson and Bob McDonald, who's president and chief executive officers, on the phone to do the commercial this morning and whatever else he wants to talk about. Bob, good morning.
Coleman, good morning, and thank you for letting me join you by phone this morning. Once we wrap up here, I've got to step into a meeting, and so that's why I'm joining you by phone. I always appreciate you letting me do that. Billy's always nice to answer the phone and push me through in there to Studio B. But I miss seeing all of you when I have to do it this way.
Yep. Well, we see you often, and but maybe not often enough. But this works fine, and we love to have you and love to talk about Cedar Stone Bank and all the things that are going on there and in your life as well. So get us started this morning.
Well, we are just very thankful to be a part of your program, Coleman, and I think we have been since around 2008. And coming there every Wednesday morning, seeing you and MJ and Billy is a great way to start our day. And I know Robert and Tina enjoy being a part of your program too. And Sue, I won't be able to make your program next week. Susan and I will be out of town, but Robert will be there to spend the great 7 minutes with you. So I know he's looking forward to being with you next Wednesday.
It's always nice to have Robert come.
I was speaking of Robert. You know, we like to be involved in different activities and events in our three communities of Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and then the Donaldson community of Nashville. And Robert's really involved down there. One thing he's really involved with is the Two Rivers Mansion, and I know he had a meeting last night. They've got a couple very important events coming up here in the next 30 days that he's working on. And one of those, Coleman, is it's a dinner that they've been doing for about the last 10 years. And they'll have a program, and it's a fundraising dinner, obviously. And what's really makes it special is one of the family members of who built that mansion back in the early 1800s, a gentleman named William Blunden, and his great grandfather. He's a McGavick, and built that mansion. And I might have left a great out in there somewhere, but he's a wonderful gentleman. He lives in New York and in Florida, and so he remains very involved with that mansion and is very supportive of it. So he's always there. He always brings a big crowd with him. But anyway, that was something Robert was working on last night. That Two Rivers Mansion, we're so fortunate to have so many beautiful homes like that in our area. And, we've got probably 4 or 5 very similar type structures. But it's a beautiful place. Have you ever been out there, Coleman?
Actually, I haven't. I know there's a lot of history involved there.
Yeah, it's terrific. It's absolutely stunning. And so I need to get Robert to get you out there sometime and have you see it.
Okay. We'll work on that.
Yeah. I tell you who's also involved in that, while we're on talking about events, is Phil Ponder.
Uh-huh.
Obviously he's done a print of the Two Rivers Mansion, or the McGavick Mansion, and he's done several of those, and he remains involved. He'll do a number of events out there where he showcases his work. And speaking of that, we talked last week about an event coming up in October that we're glad to be the presenting sponsor of, and it's called An Evening with Phil Ponder.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at the Farm Bureau Expo Center. And so that's going to be a very wonderful event, and you can buy tickets online at visittn.com. I think that's it. If not, they can call me at the bank, and I can tell them how to buy those tickets. But it's going to be a night where we recognize Phil Ponder all that he's done for the community, his wonderful work as an artist. We'll celebrate him. We'll celebrate his family, and that's going to be a great event. Maybe you and Helen can make it to that.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yep.
You want to talk a little banking before time is up?
Yep. Why don't we wrap up? I kind of get the sense that you're ready for me to wrap things up.
Well, we got a minute or so.
Okay, let's talk about our Simply Free checking account.
Good idea.
And we wrap up with that each Wednesday. And Coleman, as you know, it's a great account. It's completely free. It's free checks and it's free online banking. And we've got all the technology. You can do your banking with us online or by telephone, or you come in and see us, and you can use an ATM anywhere in the world, and it's free. We reimburse our customers any third-party charges, so it is completely free. So whenever you're traveling, you're out of town, you can use an ATM. And I've told you stories about how we've had customers who'll be traveling. My favorite one is when we had a customer who was in Greece, and he called one morning, and he didn't let me know that he was leaving town, and so he couldn't use. But we have these security features, Coleman, that if you do something that's different from your normal pattern, then it doesn't let you use your card.
Uh-huh.
And he called me, and within minutes, I was able to get with Tina, and we were able to activate his card. He was able to use his ATM in Greece. So that's why we like to say, Coleman, we're international. National Bank.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks so much for being with us today. And if you don't have that Simply Better free checking account, you can inquire at Cedarstone, and Bob and the staff will take care of you. We'll see you next Wednesday, and thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Coleman. Have a good day.
All right. Bob McDonald, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. 10:30 after the hour. And let me welcome my guest for the first half this morning. This is the Wednesday that we feature Cumberland University. And Rusty Richardson is nearly always here. In fact, Rusty, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
I don't know there's a Wednesday in this that you have missed. Have you been here for every one of them so far?
For everyone for about the last 3 years at least.
All right. Well, Rusty, of course, is the Executive Director of Community Relations and External Affairs. A long title means bigger pay, right?
I keep waiting for that.
Anyway, we welcome you, and you have a special guest you brought this morning, and I'll let you do the honors here for that if you'd like.
Okay, thank you, Coleman. Always a pleasure to be here, especially on these nice, cool mornings that are such a refreshing change from what we've been having the last few weeks. So
it's pretty nice out there.
it's
really
pretty
is.
nice, and
Yes.
going to be nice all week, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's yes. I brought a first-time guest today, Dr. Marsha Barnes. She's an assistant professor of nursing at Cumberland. Has been at Cumberland for 10 years now. She and I started about the same time, so it only took me 10 years to get her out here. But
Well, actually 3 since we started the program.
That's true.
But anyway, Dr. Marsha Barnes, welcome to our program.
Thank you for
And,
having me.
Rusty you've got the format here, and we can start out with Dr. Barnes here, or if you've got other things you want to talk about. But this is where we want to go?
let's start with Marcia and have her talk about an event she's been working on with Lauren Smith for a couple of months now, and it's something we're very excited about. And we'll let her talk about that.
All right. Well, before we get to that, just real quickly, just give us a thumbnail sketch of your life, 30 seconds of what you've done, where you've been.
I've been in nursing over 40 years. Clinician for many of those years, worked in Davidson County Metro hospitals for all that time, and had the ability to transition to full-time academics at Cumberland in 2018. I had been adjunct for several years and realized that was something that I enjoyed. So it was really kind of nice to make the transition, and I'm 7 miles from my house, so you can't beat that. Beats the Nashville traffic anyway.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about your event.
We are planning a community health fair that's going to be sponsored by the School of Nursing and Health Professions, and we have partnered with Caris Healthcare. Rusty referred to Lauren Smith. She's the director there. So we kind of came up with the idea, and then we just kind of rode with it. It's going to come to fruition. It's really exciting. The health fair is going to focus on health and wellness besides COVID. We feel like we've been, our attention has been on COVID for several months. Now we want to bring people back to thinking about overall health and wellness, and we have invited businesses in Wilson County who have a focus on health and wellness, including nutrition, exercise, disease prevention with vaccines and screenings. Nursing kind of has a holistic view on taking care of patients, and holistic to us is mind, body, spirit. So that's kind of our focus. We have focus on mind, body, and spirit.
Now, you have a date for this.
September the 23rd, and it's 1 to 6. And
As I looked at the calendar, I believe that is a Wednesday, isn't it?
Thursday.
Thursday, okay.
It's a Thursday.
All right. Thursday, yes, Thursday, September 23rd.
Yeah.
Right.
And it'll be for our Cumberland community, our faculty, staff, as well as students, but it's open to the public. We hope to have a good show of Wilson County residents that can come to our campus and explore resources that Wilson County has that promotes health and wellness.
Okay, with that, let's take our break. Rusty Richardson, Dr. Marsha Barnes from Cumberland are here. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. $49.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, safety check too. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Watching traffic build down through Mount Juliet right now on I-40 coming out of Wilson County, headed towards Hermitage. Still moving right now, 24, even though it's heavy, up by Harding Place. Now, Harding Place at Citgo Drive, South Nashville, 2 cars are involved there. And out in the county, or should I say 40 eastbound at the 192 mile marker. That's between the Cheatham County line and McCrory Lane. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken is hiring at both locations. You can apply and order online at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck, you're on time traffic.
This is Bob McDonald with Cedar Stone Bank. For 17 years now, we've been serving our communities in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We can serve you in the way that best fits your needs. We have all the banking technology, we have beautiful buildings, but more importantly, we have great people. On behalf of our board of directors, I thank you for banking with us. If you don't currently bank with us, please come by and visit us in any of our locations. It would be our pleasure to talk with you about how simple banking is simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
As the Titans try to win a second consecutive AFC South Division title. Every snap.
Gives Henry around right end to the 5, to the end zone.
Every first down. Every touchdown.
Touchdown Titans!
It's all heard here.
Brought to you by Fakes and Hooker, Bates Ford, Steve Mall Plumbing, The Jewelers, and the City of Lebanon Gas and Tennessee 811. Call before you dig.
This is Wilson County's home for real country music and the Tennessee Titans. Real Country 98.9.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us on Wednesday morning, and we're featuring Cumberland University. Rusty Richardson and Dr. Marsha Barnes are here. Now, some more things maybe you want to talk about your health fair sponsored by the Ruta School of Nursing and health professions. It's coming up on Thursday, September 23rd, 1 to 6, and open to the public, and going to be on Cumberland University's Memorial Lawn. I don't think we established that maybe a while ago. That is weather permitting, I guess.
Well, I think if the weather is not permitting to have it outside, we were going to move into the gym area.
Right. You want to mention just a little bit more about what people can expect who come to attend this. And I take it now this is totally free.
This is totally free.
Yeah.
They can expect to visit local businesses. They will have their products or, whatever their focus is on health and wellness set up on campus. I know there's going to be, massages. They're going to have the ability to get vaccines. They can get the flu vaccine already, on that date. The COVID vaccine, pneumonia, shingles is another option that they will be able be able to get. Nutrition, I'm assuming there's going to be some energy drinks, supplemental things that will be mixed and people will get the opportunity to try. But the response from the businesses has been amazing. They're just so excited that Cumberland is doing this, and they're excited to come visit our campus. You know, it's just been phenomenal. So we hope to have a big community show.
All right, and now is this geared for the total public? Are you expecting more elderly people? Are you expecting a lot of young people? I mean, you seem like you've got something for everybody.
We've got something for and that's kind of our target audience. We would like to have some of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Again, it's free and open to the public, 1 to 6 p.m. and on Thursday, September 23rd. This is community health fair sponsored by the Ruta School of Nursing and Health Professions, and Dr. Marcia Barnes, I bet you're going to be there.
Yes. With our students. We hope to have a big student show as well.
Opportunity to show them off a little bit, and for you to meet people maybe in the community that you haven't had the opportunity before.
Yes, we're looking forward to it.
All right. Well, Rusty, that's just one of a number of things in September.
Yes, that's just the start. And then we go quickly into October, and October is jam-packed full of activities. We kick off October 1st, the Cordell Hall Peace Forum. You and I have talked about that some in the past. We've got a month-long activities honoring the 150th birthday of Cordell Hall. And, you know, a lot of people, young people these days, don't really know what he was, who he was, or what he accomplished. But he was a Tennessee legislator. He was a federal judge. He was a Tennessee congressman for 11 terms, a Tennessee senator, and then became the longest-serving Secretary of State in U.S. history under FDR.
That's really an accomplishment. He is truly a Tennessee legend.
He is a Tennessee legend and won the Nobel Peace Prize. He's considered the father of the United Nations. And the list of things he accomplished just goes on and on and on. But he was a very humble man, never really sought the limelight per se. He worked a lot behind the scenes. And we're so pleased to be kicking off these activities. We are unveiling and dedicating a statue of Cordell Hall, who graduated from Cumberland in the 1890s. We're dedicating a statue on campus that morning, October 1st. We have a very special guest speaker, former Vice President Al Gore is coming to speak. That'll be an open to the public ceremony out on Memorial Lawn where the statue will be located, and that starts at 10 a.m. We are asking that people call or email to make reservations for that. There's no fee to it, but so we can estimate the number of chairs to have. Right now, we're estimating at least 500 people there, so it's going to be a very big event for us. And then having former Vice President Al Gore speak.
We haven't discussed this at all. I have no idea about the answer, but it just occurred to me. Did Mr. Hall, Cordell Hall, have any descendants that maybe are alive today or that might be invited, or have you explored that at all?
The main group we're working with is a group up in Pickett County, and it's called the Friends of Cordell Hall. And they are when he passed away, his memorabilia, his Nobel Peace Prize, all of that was donated to the Friends of Cordell Hall. And they have been the guardians of that material. And they've got a museum up there now. It's part of a state park, which they were able to get through the Tennessee legislature and the Department of Natural Resources. In fact, the original Friends of Cordell Hall included the great-grandmother of the current president of that association and Alvin York. She pulled in Alvin York, who many people know the legend of Alvin York and what he was able to achieve in his military career and the awards he received. But those were the original Friends to preserve the history and legacy of Cordell Hall. If there are any direct descendants, we are not aware of them at this point.
Okay.
We've been doing some research on that, but we're not finding any. The other thing that a lot of historians project is if FDR did not run for a fourth term, there's a good likelihood that Cordell Hall would have been the Democratic nominee for president. Yeah. It's just a fascinating man, a fascinating life, and he shaped today's world with how he created the United Nations and put that together. Just an amazing man. But we've got that on October 1st. Moving to October 7th, we've got Mayor Rick Bell coming to give a lecture, part of the library lecture series on the life and times of Cordell Hall. We have other speakers.
So Mayor Bell knows a little bit of that history as well.
Well, being the historian that he is, he's agreed to come back to campus in his role of professor for a day and give a library lecture, and that too will be open to the public. That'll be at 12:30 on October 7th. Then, in keeping with the Peace Forum idea, on October 21st, we have an award-winning, National Book Award-winning author coming, Colin McCann. And he has written a book. He's written a number of books, and many of them have won awards. But he talks about radical empathy, which may be it's kind of a strange-sounding phrase.
Well, it is.
But his book is about two bitter enemies, an Israeli and a Palestinian, who, because of a shared tragedy, became friends, and they learned each other's stories. Both of them had young sons that were killed in separate incidents in the violence there in the Middle East. But when they learned each other's stories, they developed empathy with each other and became friends. So not only will we have Colin McCann there for an evening lecture on October 21st, we'll have the Israeli and the Palestinian on a Zoom call, so they will participate as well. That is getting lots of attention in the press. We expect a big crowd for that, and again, like the others, these are free and open to the public, and we are so excited to offer these types of things at Cumberland for the community.
Well, really, these are things you're not going to get anywhere else, and so you're kind of unique in that way.
We're unique in that way in Wilson County, and even a lot of other colleges and universities in the state may not have this caliber or quality of offerings that are free and open to the public. So we just so much appreciate the support we give to we get from Lebanon and Wilson County, that this is our way of giving back. So we're very excited about those events, and there may be more that are added to the schedule yet in October.
Well, you've for sure got a lot coming up here in the early fall.
A lot coming up. I'm having sleepless nights already over this on some of the logistics, but and then we've got the school is back going full steam ahead. The fall session is in full swing. The first home football game is this Saturday at 12:30. They had an away game last week that didn't turn out so well down in Florida.
Well, that was one of them games you don't really think you're going to win unless you're the coach. Right?
It was the warm-up game, so we expect much better things this coming Saturday.
Well, they were pretty worthy opponent there.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But literally, the students are back in full swing. We are watching COVID very closely, as one would expect.
Yeah.
And trying to take all the precautions we can to keep our students, our faculty and staff all safe and secure and healthy. So it ties right into the health fair.
Yes, right. And we could go back to Dr. Marsha Barnes for a minute. We got about 3 minutes left here this morning. Assistant Professor of Nursing, who was talking earlier about the community health fair. And this is the first time you've done something exactly like this, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And so the first time there may be a few more jitters and longer planning and a bigger to-do list or something till you get all the kinks worked out. But if this is successful, you plan to maybe continue this in the future?
We hope to. We hope to even grow it. You know, it was kind of difficult. I'm sure we've missed some businesses, to contact everybody. So, that's going forward, people we can just keep adding to our list and hopefully, get a wider variety of vendors and businesses on campus. But yeah, we would hope it would be an annual event if the public likes it.
Well, again, if you joined us late, this is scheduled for September 23rd. Which is a Thursday, and it's from 1 to 6 p.m. on the Cumberland University Memorial Lawn. A beautiful setting for anything, even the symphony or health fair. Right?
Yes. Yes.
And this will be the first of its kind, but you are involving a lot of local businesses in this. So there's it's more than just a health fair, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we kind of realize that probably a lot of us don't know resources that are available right here in our community. And we think we have to drive down the interstate to get some of the services. And I've kind of been amazed myself at what's been here locally that I was not aware of. So we hope to educate and inform the residents and our Cumberland community on what is right here in our back door.
Well, that sounds great. And it has been nice to have you today, Dr. Marsha Barnes.
Thank you.
First time on Coleman and Company, and our opportunity to meet each other, but we appreciate what you're doing. And your transition to Cumberland, no doubt, has been very pleasing and I think rewarding to you.
Yes, it has.
And you seem like a happy camper,
Yes.
as we say.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a happy camper.
Right.
Even this early in the morning.
Well, Rusty, thanks for another good program, and it is nice to be able to come here and find out some things about Cumberland we wouldn't know otherwise, and hopefully our listeners appreciate making this possible. And I have to say, you do a great job each month with telling us what is about to happen and what's coming up in a few weeks and even months ahead sometimes. So thanks for another good program.
Well, thank you, Coleman. One more quick comment very quickly. I forgot to mention our sponsors for the Cordell Whole Peace Forum. We've gotten a very generous amount of support from Middle Tennessee Electric and the TVA to help sponsor all those events I talked about in October. So we especially want to give them a shout out and thank them for their great support.
All right. Well, thank you for being here today. We'll see you next month.
All right. Thanks, Coleman.
And that is part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And it's 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. They have Red Max, complete inventory, weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Heavy traffic, but it's moving right now through Hendersonville on Vietnam Vets coming westbound. All that traffic headed towards I-65. Harding Place at Sitco at South Nashville on a 2-car crash. And they're still on the scene of a wreck 40 eastbound. It's going to be between the Cheatham County line and McCrory Lane. It is over to the side, but traffic's pretty heavy now on 40 eastbound coming through Kingston Springs. Oktoberfest at Obergatlinburg is happening September 24th through October 31st. Log on to obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staplers, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tommy Bryan. Join me, Bob Lee, Terry Stafford, and Joe Gardner as we bring you Lebanon High football live every Friday night right here on WANT and WCOR throughout this 2021 season. The Blue Devils travel down 231 to take on Siegel High School in Murfreesboro Friday, September 10. Don't forget Blue Devil football on WANT WCOR Lebanon.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Hey, TP.
Yeah, JB?
You ready?
For Friday Night Lights, you better believe it. Join us on the Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show every Friday night after the Lebanon High football game. We'll have all the scores for you and even post-game interviews with all of your Wilson County coaches.
Thank you to our sponsors, Designers Carpet, Fakes and Hooker, Lebanon Appliance, Palometto's Insurance, Sammy B's Restaurant, and Kenny Salas and the hometown team with Keller Williams Realty.
It's the Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show with John Boyce and Trenton Perry, right here on WANT 98.9 FM.
Today's forecast calls for a mix of sun and clouds with a few light showers. Highs today will top out in the mid-80s. On Thursday, the weather will be fantastic. We'll have mostly sunny skies and temperatures climbing into the low 80s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty. professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist T.J. Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2 here on a Wednesday morning. Philip, good morning.
Morning, Coleman.
I'll get to the thing in a minute, but you were we were talking about this, how that when there's a Monday holiday like we had, and then yesterday was Tuesday, but it seemed like Monday all day.
It did. It seemed like Monday. We were slammed and busy. Everybody a lot of people were taking advantage of that weekend special plus the holiday, and so we were really busy. And just like I say, all of a sudden you look up and you didn't even realize it was Tuesday. I missed Rotary yesterday. So anyway,
well, Absolute Rental Supplies located at on West Main Street at 1325. Been there for 20 years, and Philip Etherly has started this 20 years ago in June and still going strong, and he wants you to remember that phone number, 615-443-RENT. An easy number to remember when you get to, because renting is what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
443-RENT. So you're staying busy.
We've been blessed. This weather is great. We love the cooler weather. It's really making everybody kind of get the fall deal going on, and we're just blessed. We've got a lot of, it's good for dirt moving. If you have any kind of projects you've got to do, grading or utilities or anything like that, the soil conditions are great to be able to do that. Do want to remind everybody, we're getting ready to start getting into the prime seeding time and overseeding time. Our aerators are really booking up right now. A lot of people do that in the fall. And the aerators, all of them, we have the walk behind, the stand on, the pull behind. They're all really getting booked up. So if that's something you're looking at doing, you want to go ahead and call and make a reservation for that. But
actually, a person might ought to adjust their schedule as to when that's available, rather than the other way around.
Exactly. Yeah, but they are booking up. And those are things that, a lot of these landscapers or landscape contractors that come in. I had a guy come in the other day. He's taking it for 6 weeks. He's got that many lawns to aerate, and so that kind of you got to make plans for that. But in our fescue is predominantly our main type of turf grass in Wilson County in Tennessee, and so right now is the prime time, starting from the middle of September till the end of October is the prime time to put that seed down. So everybody, we got a good window here, cooler weather, moisture in the ground, so it's getting time to do that.
Well, and I know Matt Bryson is really has all the information that he's imparted to y'all. And not that you don't know, but if you have a problem, I think you go to him. The idea is you've got the answers for just about anything pertaining to your lawn and fescue and seeding and all this kind of stuff.
That's right. And we've got a program that Matt and I both kind of worked with over the years that, it's the proper time to seed, the proper time to fertilize, the proper time to put your herbicides down. And so if you kind of follow that program, then it makes it real easy, and you get your really a established lawn, and that's what you're looking for.
And regardless of what equipment you might want to rent, if you go to absoluterental.com, the entire inventory is right there with the price per 4 hours or all day or several days or whatever. You have a wealth of information right there at your website, and then you call 615-443-RENT and see if it's available today or next week or next month or whenever you want it.
Exactly. Yeah, we try to make it easy, and it's funny if you ever walk up to the counter. I mean, I do this all the time. I walk up to the counter and I'm listening to what the counter guys are saying. I'm listening to whatever's going on. And it's pretty interesting how frequently that phone rings. I mean, it's all the time, all day long. The phone is ringing, but it's nice to sit back and hear that everybody's saying and being very consistent in their responses and telling people how and when they need to do things. Yeah. And so it's really rewarding.
Well, again, this is the beginning, almost the beginning. Today is the 8th of September. So you said the middle of September
to the end of
October. So 6-7 week period of time. If you haven't made your plans, start thinking about it and get busy and make your reservation so you won't come up short at the end.
Yeah, that's right. We want to take care of you.
From wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, but to mostly today we've been talking about aerators and things with your lawn. But you've got it all.
as you say on that commercial, we have what you
We
need.
have what you need. That's right.
Well, keep that in mind. Remember that phone number, 615-443-RENT. And Philip, thanks for being with us. See you next time.
All right, appreciate it.
Philip Etherly, Absolute Rental and Supply, 1325 West Main in Lebanon, 21 and a half before the hour. And let me welcome Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Historian Rick Bell. I got to talk just a minute here about Cordell Hall.
Okay.
And one reason, I guess, when I was in high school in my senior year in Ms. Holloway's English class, we had to do a term paper. And I think that's pretty much been the way it's been, maybe still is. You do a term paper in English your senior year in the second half of the year. So mine was titled The Life of Cordell Hall.
Wow.
And I did a lot of reading on this. I read all about his life and then kind of summarized that. And she said, I think I got an A on it. She bragged on me to the other class, not much in our class, but the other class. And actually what I did, Rick, just to be different, I guess, I actually wrote a letter to Senator Albert Gore. He was our senator then. Would what I was doing, a term paper on the life of Cordell Hall, would he have any comments? And he sent me back a little letter, and I used that as in that term paper.
Well, that's awesome. You know, it's great to come as honoring Cordell Hall, and you know, and I'm honored to be part of it. I know Rusty mentioned October 7th. I'll be up there speaking for their library series, and a couple of years ago, Bill McKee, who's the provost at Cumberland, he asked me to write an article about Cordell Hall for the Tennessee Baptist Journal, and so since I wrote that article, I guess they think I can, you know, have a lecture now. So, you know, I'll base it off that. But one thing that's interesting about Cordell Hall that I think that doesn't get mentioned much was I read his memoirs, and he said when he first went to Congress as a freshman, and he was nervous, you know, really didn't know what he was getting into, and when he got there, he felt so comfortable because he was surrounded by people who went to Cumberland. You know, all the other congressmen and senators who were there, he said it felt like going home because they had gone to Cumberland too. And so, you know, that has told me that Cumberland, you know, it's had a huge impact on not just local history, but American history as well. And you know, another thing about Cordell Hall is this: he had a great career, you know, but we all make mistakes, and I have to say that Cordell Hall made a mistake, in my opinion. He wrote the first federal income tax law.
No. Well, I remember in researching, he was pretty much a stickler for decorum and was a judge at one time, and actually fined his father for wearing a hat in the courtroom.
Yeah, that's pretty strong.
But it is good to I think, especially since he's an alumnus of Cumberland, to have that statue there. That's really something.
Oh, it's going to be great. I mean, to have a statue there, and you know, and he's, you know, obviously he graduated from Cumberland, and he went on to do great things. And as Rusty said, the longest serving Secretary of State in American history, and you know, that's just amazing that you know, somebody reached those heights. And I think that statue is well deserved. And you know, I hope a big crowd comes out because that's really a big thing, not just for Cumberland, but for the city of Lebanon too, to be able to have that.
Right. And the fact that he went to Cumberland, I mean, that's just kind of like, you know, a feather in their cap. I mean, it's you brag about the people that have graduated from your school who've gone on and done well.
Yeah, yeah. And there's been a lot.
It speaks well for Cumberland.
It does, and there have been a lot of people who went to school at Cumberland, not just back in those days, but now, you know, who've gone on to make great impacts, and that's something we can all be proud of.
Okay, well, you had a meeting last night. Well, how was your Labor Day, by the way?
It was good. You know, we didn't do much.
Relax?
We relaxed. Nicole and I, we had some friends over one night. We were grilled out, and then another night went to some other friends' house to eat, and you know, we just you know, sat around and visited my parents for a while, and you know, it's just a relaxing weekend to, you know, sit out on the porch and play with the dog and cat, and you know, and have a good time. So you know, it's always good to have a 3-day weekend. I know everybody knows that.
But Tuesday comes and you got to go back to work.
Yeah, you do, and you know, as Philip was saying, I got kind of mixed up too. I think, wait, we have a city council meeting tonight. This doesn't seem like Tuesday. So,
anything exciting about last night's meeting?
you know, it was pretty typical as far as the things that the council voted on and approved. You know, a few that I want to, you know, call out a little bit is I reappointed 2 people to the Historic Preservation Commission, Greg Dugdale and Jesse Gilliam. Both have served on that for a while. Jesse actually represents our Planning Commission on the Historic Preservation Commission. So I want to thank those 2 for really being involved and agreeing to continue. You know, one of the things that we talk about a lot are traffic signals, and you know, that's something we mentioned a lot out here on the radio. And so last night was second reading for the new signal on Horn Springs Road. I've had several people on that road call me about a signal, and it's going to happen. It's going to be a while. You know, I don't want people to think it's going to happen overnight, but the process has started now. But you know, there are a couple of things though that I think were important. Is you know, one of the things that I really want to focus on when I became mayor was grants. You know, money that you know comes from other places that we can use. And so last night, you know, there are a couple of grants that I feel like are important. One comes from the Tennessee Historical Commission, and we are helping the Fight Fessenden House get some money for what they do over there. And, you know, that's a very important part of our local history. And, you know, there's a lot of people who volunteer to work on that. So we kind of helped them through the grant process, and the city council, you know, approved that last night. But on a bigger level, we voted to go for a TDOT grant application. And it's on 231 North to put sidewalks between Forest Avenue and Cass Heights Avenue. One of the things that we've learned is that that's a high pedestrian area out there of people walking, and these sidewalks, if we're able to get this grant, will, you know, help people be able to walk safely. So I think that's something that's important. And one other thing that happened last night is important too, and it sounds like a small thing, but I don't think it is. Joey Carmack, who represents Ward 1, has been talking about for a while about how Don Fox Park needs a new sign. That sign has been there for a long time. It's starting to get worn, and so we approved the process last night to get a new sign for Don Fox Park. And the reason I say that's important is because that park is really a jewel for our city. And I'm so thankful that, you know, years ago that you know, Mayor Fox and City Council approved to do that, because, you know, that's something that citizens from all over enjoy, but we need it to look nice. And you know, we want to make sure it does, and this is just one part of that process.
What's the sign going to cost, and is it going to be different?
It's going to look similar as it does now. There's the rocks and the wood and everything will, you know, be the same, and we'll have to do some work on that as well, the actual base. But the one thing that's different is the letters are going to light up, you know, and so you'll be able to read that at night as you go through there. And it's about $15,000, so it's something that Lisa Lane, our purchasing agent, she went out and got some cost on. So so it's gonna be about that much. But you know, but there's other parts of that park and our other recreational areas too that we need to work on. But you know, this is just one piece of that process.
Well, making use of land in a floodplain there, I've been told it was Don Fox's idea. It's sort of his idea, and he got it implemented, and it's really, I think it has superseded the expectations even of him and everybody else, is how much people love that.
Oh, it's been great. And you know, Billy and I were talking about before I came into the studio, and about how, you know, that area does flood, and we have people who sometimes ask, you know, why would you build a park where it floods? Well, that was the point, you know. It's an area in the flood zone. It's a place that when it does rain a lot, it allows water to spread out, and you know, so it's something that people can enjoy, but it helps out as well, and so it's a great park. And as I said, I appreciate everybody who you know, took part in putting that together. You know, I know. You know, Mark Lee played a big role in getting the playground built, and you know, people volunteered for that, and you know, I can remember, you know, remember all that happening. And it's just, you know, parks are, in my opinion, are something that's really great for quality of life. That was kind of our first one, and I hope, as you know, during my time in office, we can have a lot more.
Mayor Rick Bell is here. We've run a little overtime past our break, but now we will take our break and talk more in a moment on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:48. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford and get $50 off $250 repair offer to owners of 4 to 10-year-old Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury vehicles. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's quite heavy actually out here on 24, trying to get up through the Hickory Hollow area. All that traffic flow coming in from Rutherford County. Still some radar out here up and down I-40 coming in through sections of Dixon County, Hickman County as well. Just be careful. Harding Place at Sitco Drive that crashes in its clearing stages. Oktoberfest at Ober-Gatlinburg. It's happening September 24th through October 31st. Food, fun, lots of music. Log on today, obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
She's taken care of you your whole life. Now it's your turn to take care of her. But with a family of your own and other responsibilities, there just aren't enough hours in the day. That's why it might be time to call the Pavilion Senior Living. From bathing, dressing, housekeeping, and meals, the Pavilion Senior Living is committed to being senior living you can trust for your loved one. Find out more at pavilionseniorliving.com or call 444-5556. That's 444-5556.
The average person moves 5 times over their lifetime. If it's moving time for you, let A.G. & Johnson help you sell your home quickly and professionally. Call us at 444-0909 to start your marketing plan today with an accurate evaluation of your home. One of our licensed realtors will feature your home on the A.G. & Johnson website, online listing sites, and through the MLS. A.G. & Johnson is your community trusted real estate and auction company since 1977. Visit us online at agandjohnson.com.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us, and our thanks to Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, who sees us a couple of times a month after each city council meeting, and again, he's here this morning. He just turned our way. Meeting last night, you've told us about that. Anything else from that we need to discuss?
No, that's about it as far as last night. It was just a basic meeting. We went over some typical business that we need to do, but I think those were the highlights of what happened last night.
Let me ask this: the fiscal year started July 1, and here we are, almost 2.5 months into it. Are we staying on budget? Things looking good as far as expenditures go, and what the budget projected?
Everything's going well. Stuart Lawson, the finance commissioner, and I, we meet all the time, and we track what everybody's doing, and right now everything's on track. Revenues are coming in just like he thought they would, and expenses are on pace. So we're doing really well right now.
Well, you did mention a moment ago we're going to have a new traffic light in time, not tomorrow, but next year or a year or two, however long it takes, at Horn Springs Road. Are there other intersections where traffic lights may be coming?
There are. Of course, Carver Lane is one we're working on that people ask about a lot, and that's a really important one. One thing that's I need to tell you about is a couple of weeks ago, I actually met with TDOT Commissioner Clay Bright. He came to town, and we had lunch at Snow White. And so he kind of gave me an update on some of the things they're working on, and one of those is Highway 109, and he said that will be finished by Thanksgiving. That's their plan. And the other night
it's been a long time.
It has.
But a project like that is greatly involved.
And I
think the finished product's going to make everybody happy.
Oh, that's a real process when you start widening highways. And but the other night I actually met with the Spence Creek Homeowner Association, and that's one of the things that I want to do as mayor is get out into people's neighborhoods and talk to them, and so I met with the Spence Creek folks, and we talked about 109. And the reason I bring that up is you talk about traffic lights, they need one too, and so we talked about that. One thing I did talk to Commissioner Bright about was we mentioned sidewalks on 231 North. That's what's happening around Kroger right now is there's a sidewalk project. And when he was here, I said, Commissioner, can you ride through that? Because I don't think it's going exactly right. and he did. He rode through there. And, that's a project that, they were supposed to be out of the road back in June. And then it was supposed to be finished on September 15th, which is next week.
Right.
And obviously, that's not going to be finished next week. So, I wanted him to know that, that we weren't very happy with the process of that project. And so he went through and looked at it, and he told me, that he would get on it. But, I just want everybody to know that I know people are frustrated with that one. I'm frustrated with it. Kristen Rice, our traffic engineer, she's frustrated with it, and hopefully they'll be done soon. But that's gone a lot longer than it should have.
Okay, well, back to this that you mentioned earlier on North Cumberland. You said from Forest Avenue
to Castle Heights Avenue,
North Castle Heights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Up to where the bowling alley used to be.
Right through there.
Is that both sides of the road or one side?
That's a good question. I don't want to give you the wrong answer, but it's there are sidewalks. I'm not sure if it's one side or two sides, but I can find out. Yeah.
Well, anyway, there's going to be at least one there, and it'll make it more easy for people to take sidewalk if they choose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And one other thing I want to mention too is that last week Hurricane Ida came through, and we were in the path of that according to all predictions, and so I met with my staff of Public Works and our public safety people and really said we need to be prepared. And so we put together a couple thousand sandbags, and I can't thank enough our street department crews and some of the guys from our water department. They worked hard in one day to get those made and get those where people could pick them up and put them in front of their businesses and their homes. And we had 2 spots up at the fire station just off the square, and then in the Big Lots parking lot where people could pick up and it didn't flood,
right,
which I'm thankful for. But I feel like we need to be prepared. We need to be proactive, and I really think we dodged a bullet because not long after that, north of us, up in New York City and Pennsylvania, Hurricane Ida made a real impact. It flooded. Some people drowned, and so it was a real threat. And I'm thankful it didn't happen here, but we were prepared. And that was a true team effort, and a lot of people worked hard, and I just want to thank them for their work. And I got a lot of calls from people who really appreciated what they did, and I want to make sure I thank them.
You plan to do more of that in the future, that sort of thing?
Well, the plan is to be proactive, and the hurricane was a little different than typical. Typically we have a storm come through and it's a flash flood. You don't have much time, but this one we had several days in advance of this prediction that it was coming through here. So we were able to get the word out, and we were able to get those made and help people as much as possible. And again, thankfully it did not happen. But my goal is, when it comes to situations like that, we need to be proactive instead of reactive.
Well, I got a question or two here. And this is partly out of my ignorance, I guess. But those were sandbags.
Sandbags.
Are they good in the future?
As long as they stay dry, they're good.
Well, now, do the people that got them keep them, or do they go back to the city?
Well, they can keep them. As long as they keep them dry.
Yeah.
Some storage area they can keep them, and they can save them for later. Right now. We decided to have a couple thousand in storage just in case. So we have a big trailer where we can store them in and keep them dry. And as long as they stay that way, they're good. But now once they get wet, they're done. And when I say get wet, I don't mean just get flooded. I'm talking about if they get rained on, they're done. But I think most of those stay dry, especially if they're under cover or something. But they can be used again in those situations.
Well, I'm glad you cleared that up, because I wondered about it.
Well, I wondered about that too, and I didn't know until somebody told me.
We got a couple of minutes. Anything else on your list there?
Yeah, we announced a couple weeks ago that McAllister's is coming to town.
Yeah.
McAllister's is a high-end sandwich shop, and they're going to go in the old Applebee's building. And I'm really excited to have McAllister's here. It's another place where people have options. But I'm also really excited to get that Applebee's building occupied.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I feel it's looked bad, to be honest. And ever since I became mayor, people ask me all the time, what's going in the old Applebee's building? And for a long time, there was nothing. And so McAllister's made a deal to go in that building, and I think it's going to be a great asset to our city. I spoke with the gentleman who's actually going to own that franchise, and he's excited about being here. And so, I think that's something that's, going to be a great addition. When we made that announcement, just like when we made Whataburger announcement, a lot of people say, well, what about sit-down restaurants? And, I just want everybody to know we are going after sit-down restaurants. We really are. We work on that every day. Sarah Haston and I do. But actually, I had Sarah do a study last week because I want to know, how many sit-down restaurants do we have right now? And I told her, count up how many restaurants we have, no drive-throughs. You go in, you sit down, and somebody comes to your table and takes your order.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually have over 50 sit-down restaurants. And I just want to say that because I don't think people realize that. And most of them are locally owned, because we have the chains like, Outback and Chili's and those places. But, these are locally owned businesses, people who invest in our city. And I just want to encourage people to go out and look for those restaurants and support those local people who are, have those small businesses. And there are people here who are serving good food, and we need to get out there and support them. So, when she gave me that number, I was surprised.
Yeah.
I really was. But it's we have a lot of places to a lot of choices, places to eat. But I want to make sure everyone knows that we are working hard to get more.
All right. Well, that ought to conclude our visit from you this morning. Thanks so much for being here. 2 weeks from now, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so
I'll be
much.
here. Thank you.
Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell. That's it for Wednesday. Please join us tomorrow for the Thursday edition. Till then, I wish you a wonderful day.